Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you're enjoying this lovely freezing cold weather. It's beautiful out there, isn't it? So I was going to chat this morning about perceived loss and why people leave our lives. Now, I'm not talking about the human experience of the dynamics, the politics, the chatter, the story as to why people have left our lives. I'm talking about it from a spiritual perspective, which is nothing to do with the story of what's happened, maybe a conflict or a fallout or a separation. I'm not talking about that aspect. So I'm shining a light on from the divine about why people leave our lives. And the reason I talk about this is I've always felt a sense that I've experienced a huge amount of loss in my life. And I've been doing some work myself on why that has to be to actually comfort myself, and so you might resonate with this. So from the spiritual perspective of why we experience loss, the universe can see what we can't. The universe is always conspiring for us, not against us, even if our human minds may want something different. And often the reason that people come out of our lives is because they were only ever meant to be there temporarily, maybe to teach us something, maybe for us to teach them something, maybe to be a source of support through a period of our lives, maybe to teach us how to live again, maybe how to teach us how to let go of something. Maybe there's a karmic contract that we had to come together and have some kind of chaos actually to grow and evolve from it, but not to stay in it. And that's the thing. So we're all born with a need for attachment, a need for connection, but we will experience that most people in our lives never stay there permanently. People come in for what I always say, reason, season, or a lifetime, but we don't get to choose. So how do we get okay with departure on whatever level that is? It even could be somebody dying. We're still going to experience loss and separation. And I think it's something about having trust in the bigger picture, in the grand scheme, that people may get taken out of our lives and very quickly for our own highest good, or maybe for their highest good, or for things that we're never going to truly understand. But what I feel is important is to try and stay away from the mind over computing it, for better or for worse, because sometimes things just are. We're not always going to know. It's getting okay with not knowing, but understanding that as much as we need to attach to people, we also have to learn when it's right to detach and go through that grievance of whatever the loss may be on whatever level, and understand that sometimes we're also fated to come in and just touch people's lives momentarily. Momentarily could be a couple of years, it might be a couple of weeks or a month, but we might touch their lives to impart something important to them, and then it's just as equally important that our presence has to leave. And I've also experienced an awful lot of that as well, as confusing as it can seem, you know, following that intuition, knowing when to present into somebody's life, but also knowing when to remove yourself, even if it doesn't always make sense. So loss is such a painful thing for us all. It's something we're all going to endure, so we might as well work with it rather than against it. If you're struggling with some form of departure from your life, whether it's your departure from other people's lives or vice versa, understand that there is always a reason for everything, even if it's not clear. Have some trust in the universe that's trying to direct us for our highest good. Sometimes we have to come in and out of people's lives for our own protection, to remove ourselves for our own protection, you know, emotionally, spiritually, as much as anything else. So wishing you a lovely weekend. Take care, everybody.